In today's episode of Today in World War II, March 17th, the first and only civilian to be executed in the war on the Channel Islands is killed. MacArthur arrives in Australia. The Japanese murdered 39 missionaries off of New Guinea. A volcano joins the German side. And finally, the bridge over the Rhine at Remagen finally collapses. Let's get started. Okay, on March 17th, 1941, the very first and only civilian to be executed in the war on one of the Channel Islands was killed today. His name was Francois Scornet. He was a French national. He was actually, no, an army cadet who fled France in a small boat, and he was hoping to join the Free French in England, but his boat got lost in rough weather. He sailed into Guernsey thinking that it was the Isle of Wight and was captured. The Germans, as they so often did, decided to make an example of him. He was picked out as the ringleader of the group, and he was executed. After the war, his remains were reinterred in his home village in Brittany, where he was honored. Bad luck for him because that's kind of an ignominious way to die, right? Speaking of almost ignominious, on March 17, 1942, Douglas MacArthur, in his long journey, we've been tracking this in our video series. He made his way out of Corregidor on a PT boat. He had some narrow escapes, but they got past the Japanese patrol boats, got into Mindanao, and then he was able to get a B-17 that was sent from Australia to Mindanao, and that plane landed in Australia. As I said in a previous video, he wasn't out of the woods yet because he still had to make it down to South Australia. He was in North Australia right now and still vulnerable to Japanese fighter attacks. So anyway, he got out of danger zone and he's going to be able to very quickly take up his duties as a new commanding officer of the Southwest Pacific Operations Area. On March 17, 1943, not the best day when it came to humanity, the Japanese destroyer took 39 Catholic missionaries from an island off of New Guinea. The order was given to execute them. What is ironic is that these missionaries were mostly German. They're allies, right? Well, being German didn't mean anything. They were religious, they were Western, that's all that mattered to the Japanese. And so for 3 hours, 3 hours, it took them 3 hours to kill 39 missionaries. Makes you wonder what they were doing. It took 3 hours, right? Anyway, they were all shot to death. Their bodies were dumped in the oceans for the sharks to eat. Once again, we see how barbaric and horrible the Japanese were. And in my humble opinion, they deserve no mercy at the end of the war. So let's not wring our hands about the atomic bombs, please, okay? On March 17, 1944, the volcano Mount Vesuvius officially joined Hitler's cause, became a fascist, became an ally to the Germans because it erupted on this date. And not only did it kill 26 civilians, but it also destroyed 88 American aircraft and it displaced about 12,000 Italians who were left homeless. So diplomacy didn't help. American and British diplomat were carrying out major negotiations with the volcano. There was talk even of sacrificing some virgins, although they never did that, but there was talk about it. But Vesuvius decided that even though it looks like the Germans are going to lose, it's still going to help him out. So Mount Vesuvius made its first and only attack of the war and destroyed 88 American aircraft. Finally, on March 17, 1945, the gift that we were given by the Remagen Bridge not being destroyed when the Germans attempted to blow it up, the First Army was able to get a lot of supplies, a lot of men, a lot of troops, a lot of tanks, so on and so forth, over the Rhine. However, it was not able to stay up longer than today's date. It was repeatedly being bombed. The Germans were sending a lot of their jet bombers there to destroy it. Finally, It was just too much, even though 28 American engineers were working like the devil to strengthen the structure, it collapsed, and 38 of these American engineers were swept away to their deaths because of that. So, what a risk it was knowing they were targets, but they still did everything they could to keep that bridge up. So, honor to their memories. And that's it for today. I want to thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. I will talk to you tomorrow.